Welcome to Smart English Stories. Please don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more English stories.
A bar was dark and loud. Alex sat at a small table. He drank a tall glass of wine. He felt alone and tired. The music beat in his head. He looked at the empty chairs. He did not know what to do next. He saw a young woman at the end of the bar. She sat by herself. Her hair was dark and soft. Alex walked close and smiled. He spoke loud and rude words. He spilled his drink on her coat. She looked at him with cold eyes. Alex laughed and said, "This is my place. This is my restaurant." Her lips trembled. She stood up fast. She spoke with a sharp voice. "You will lose all you have," she said. Alex did not care at first. Then her legs shook and she fell. He saw her body go down. Alex jumped up in fear. He shouted for help. He pressed a button under the bar. A worker ran to her side. Alex called for an ambulance. In the ambulance, Alex held her hand. She was pale and weak. Her breath came slow and soft. He patted her back with care. He whispered, "Please live." He felt his heart break. The siren wailed in the night. At the hospital, Alex waited long on a cold chair. He watched the door for a doctor. A man in white clothes came close. The doctor spoke in a low voice. "She has stage 4 cancer," he said. "She has only 3 days left." Alex's world stopped in that room. Alex walked to her hospital bed. She lay on soft white sheets. Her eyes opened and saw him there. She frowned and spoke. "Why are you here?" Alex bowed his head and said, "I am sorry." She turned away and closed her eyes. The next day, Alex came with a small meal. He placed a simple table by her bed. He lit 2 gentle candles. He laid out bread, soup, and fruit. The light was warm and soft. She watched him work with kind care. He smiled and said, "This is for you." She felt a tear on her cheek. Her voice was soft. "Thank you," she whispered. Alex asked, "Do you forgive me?" She nodded and looked at him. He asked, "What do you want?" She thought for a moment. She said, "I want a dress." Alex stood up and said, "Turn around." She spun on her weak feet. She faced a mirror on the wall. She saw no dress on her back. She smiled and whispered, "No dress." Alex sat back down and pointed. He said, "Look there." She turned her head to the door. A tall, handsome man walked in. His coat was neat and clean. She shook her head and said no. Alex looked at her with soft eyes. He said, "I want to dine with you." She looked into his eyes and smiled. She sat back down by his side. They ate slowly and talked kind words. They laughed at small jokes. The room felt full of hope. Alex felt love bloom in his chest. She felt a new warmth in her heart. They shared stories of happy days. They shared a song in soft hums. The minutes felt like gentle dreams. She reached out and held his hand. He held hers and squeezed it softly. Then Alex asked the doctor again. He stood at the door and said, "Doctor, how long will she live?" The doctor's face was sad. He said, "She has 3 days to live." Alex knelt down and wept. He felt the weight of grief. Alex made a promise to himself. He sold his old car that day. He sold his small home that week. He took all his money and gave it to her. He hired kind nurses for her care. He bought her a soft white dress. He spoke to her every hour. On the 4th day, he came early. He set up a new table by her bed. He brought fresh bread, soup, and sweet cake. He lit 3 tall candles. He sat next to her and held her hand. She opened her eyes and saw him. She smiled in tears and said, "You saved me." She whispered, "I would like to dine with you in your restaurant." He looked at her with weeping eyes. He squeezed her hand and said, "I sold everything I had." He paused and then said, "But I found an angel." She closed her eyes and rested. Alex stayed by her side that night. He watched her breathe in the silent room. He spoke softly, "I love you." She opened her eyes one last time. She held his face in her weak hand. She whispered, "I love you too." He kissed her forehead gently. In the early morning, she passed away. Alex wept in quiet grief. He felt the room grow still and cold. He held her hand until the end. He kissed her soft cheek once more. He whispered, "Goodbye, my angel." Weeks later, Alex opened a small cafe by the sea. He named it Angel's Last Dinner. He placed 3 candles on each table. He served bread, soup, and sweet cake. He looked out at the blue water each day. He smiled through tears, feeling her near. Friends come and taste his food. They see the candles and ask why. Alex tells them his story in soft words. He speaks of love, loss, and hope. They leave with warm hearts and kind smiles. Thank you for listening to this story. If you feel its warmth and hope, please like and subscribe. More simple tales of love and life await you soon. Stay kind, stay hopeful, and thank you for being here.